Good morning. From Lagos, Nigeria, this is Morning Rave.
It's International Youth Day, so I'm reserving that for when we go deeper in the show. But of course, we are people that want to inspire change.
Yeah, exactly.
Wherever we are. So we'll talk more about that.
We'll talk more about that, definitely, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
And the good thing is that we do, because I just Champion just mentioned, is the International Youth Day, celebrated every August 12th, globally, and it's a global event. And this year's own theme is not, it's quite shifted to the tech, sector, And of course, we have it as a youth advancing multilateral cooperation through technology and the partnerships. That's the theme for this year, established by the United Nations in 1999, and ever since, it's always a day that young people always sees as an opportunity to celebrate themselves, to look at issues bordering on their growth, and of course, ensure that they be parts or majority voice in the growth of democracy, not just all over the world, not just in Nigeria, but all over the world. The good thing this morning is that we do have a very young lad here with us this morning, and together we are youth, so please, we're also youth, I and Dr. Champion, so please, just because he's younger than us doesn't mean that,
I believe you're also young at heart.
Well, Emmanuel Epo, tech enthusiast, here with us this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's with pleasure I'm here with you guys today, celebrating the World International Youth Day. And I want to enjoy this ride with you guys today.
Of course, feel free. It's not, this airline is not what it is like for the past how many days where we're having different issues. This plane is a very smooth plane. It's a very smooth sailing one, so to speak, But of course, International Youth Day, while the theme, which I mentioned earlier on about youth advancing multilateral cooperation through technology and partnership is very pivotal. But here in Nigeria, the whole thing is about the young people. Because for a long time now, the question has always been, how proactive is our young people, especially when it comes to our nascent democracy. I still call it nascent because we're still developing, what's their contribution? How have they been able to ensure that their voice is heard in matters that concerns the development of our Nigeria, our dear country, How far has they been? And, we'll be looking at other issues that have militated against the progress of young people in Nigeria. The good thing is that Emmanuel is a tech enthusiast, so and these days you find a lot of young people in that sector. Let me start with that focus on the tech part of country. Right now we've seen majority of Nigerians, young people in the tech sector, and now other sectors are suffering, especially agriculture and the rest. Would you say it's an easy way for them, and that's why most people are focused on tech, or you see tech as futuristic? That's something that we have AI, we have a lot of things, and these are the things that will make life much easier, and that's why young people are tilting towards, pivoting towards tech.
All right. Thank you for, first of all, having me on this show. It's with great pleasure having me today. Back to your question, I wouldn't say it's a easy road for them, or for we young people, so I don't have to exclude myself out of it here. So I wouldn't say it's an easy road for them, but it is the future. So we need to see tech as the future of humanity. And the earlier we realize, the better for us as a people. Unfortunately, on this part of the world, Africa and Nigeria to be specific, we are way behind on the development of what tech is currently in the Western world. Yeah, with the likes of Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk doing some great development in terms of, for instance, a person like Elon Musk is seen in a couple of years where humanity can exist in Mars and stuff like that. And then Mark Zuckerberg talking about the metaverse and stuff like that. So these are people that have brought the future to now. But now the question is, how do we fit in?
Okay.
How do we fit in? And it is a question that we need to ask ourselves and make sure that we are putting ourselves out there and making sure that we're in that future now.
When you say we're behind, because I mean, some recent surveys have sort of placed Nigeria at a very, how would I put it, at a position, vantage position, where the world now is now looking at Nigeria as, as a growing hub of tech, But when you say we're far behind, what do you mean by we're far behind? Is it in terms of training? Is it in terms of the skills or the talents,
Well, it's multifaceted, yeah? So we are far behind, yes, in training. We are far behind, yes, in infrastructure. We are far behind in development. So, and other areas. But let me just look at from these 3 parameters that we are far behind from these areas. For instance, if you come from the aspect of development in terms of machineries and the likes, if you look at the regular or the average Nigerian student learning computer science, you'll see that they don't have the necessary devices, the necessary equipment that they need to get themselves out there. Unfortunately, we get to see tech enthusiasts, computer scientists learning in school, but still in the old archaic way, writing on papers and the logs. And
I see that
just have a view of the regular Nigerian university and see what is there. And sometimes, these young persons sometimes might have great ideas, great thoughts, great things to accomplish. But by the time you look at your immediate environment, it is not spurring you to get these things done. As some of them that might not have the urge to move forward, we definitely just have to kill that idea. In the regular university, you have students with ideas to carry out some particular kind of innovations. And then by the time they bring up these ideas to their lecturers will be like, this is what I have told you to do. So you have to do it this particular way. Meanwhile, you're not giving that particular student the ability to think outside of the box. There was I'll give a personal example. By the time I had a project to do in school, and then we were grouped in groups. And then my lecturer said that we should do it based on our discretion. When we started planning here, at a point, we're confused that what do we need to do? How do we need to go about this? And we tried to call him that, sir, should we go through your route? He said, no. Do what you want to do. And at the end of the day, because we were able to use our imaginations, we were able to use our abilities to bring out something good, my group came out the best. Wow. So you get. So that avenue is not really there. This is just one out of the many. You understand? So
I keep saying that you mentioned you have old lecturers, and I'm wondering,
I don't want to say
and stuff. I thought we have very young lecturers, people who, who are knowledgeable in tech and who do know that tech is not something that you can constrain somebody. As you said, you allow them to blossom. Use your discretion, develop yourself, and the rest. But you find in school, you find some lecturers who are 60-year-old and still talking about.
Well, for me, I don't think age is the issue, but the mind.
The mind, okay.
Yeah. So you can be old but still be youthful at the mind. That you want every child or every youth out there, or any child that is under your care, to be able to explore outside of the box. You get. So I think it's the thing of the mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, I'm looking at, of course, looking at the theme: local youth actions for the Sustainable Development Goals and beyond. All right. So, what way do you think government can do more? I heard what you said. Very wonderful analysis to spur the interest of youths to go more into tech, because, like you said, it's the future. So, what way can you think government can do more to inspire young people to go into this, and of course support them to leverage on government's intervention, so that of course our youths can be more proactive and of course tech savvy?
Okay. I'll go back to the basis, the foundation, which is our educational system. So I feel there should be a total overhaul of our educational system on how we run our syllabus and stuff like that, before we now talk about the big dogs in the industry. So for instance, the regular or average computer scientist, the regular or average engineering student, the regular or average mass communication student should be able to have access to needed facilities, to be able to have access to updated syllabus, to be able to have access to things that are currently operational in the Western world. But unfortunately, if you go to the four walls of our educational system, all we have is what we have 20, 15, 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you get? And somehow you are recycling the same set of people all over again. So I think we should start from the basis before we go to the whole big thing of, and then on the bigger side of it here, I feel that an enabling environment should be created where young people can just express themselves, express their ideas, express their thoughts, and these thoughts are brought to life, not killed down the line. Even if your thoughts and ideas are brought to life, it's maybe because you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. Exactly. But every average person down there has ideas. Nigeria is a hub for talent.
Yeah, I agree with that.
To be very, very candid.
But when you talk about talent, and tech, while we do agree that there are a lot of young people who are doing things in tech and the rest, but then what about this get-rich-quick syndrome that we have in the country, where lots of young people, rather than using these talents or these skills, legitimately, they decide to go the other way around, fraud and the rest, because every day we keep hearing about stories of young people involved in fraud, so what's your thoughts on that? Is that pressure? Is that peer pressure? Is that pressure from the pop culture we have, where flamboyancy is the main thing? Young people, everybody wants to drive the latest car, live in a mansion, and flaunt their wealth.
Okay, I think from that aspect, that's a very good question. Thank you very much. I'll say that yes, there is the angle of peer pressure, and there is the angle of societal pressure. There's the angle of the social media. But as a young person, or what I'll put out there to every young person that wants to make it big in life, is that don't isolate your growing up. How do I mean? As a young person, you need to find a way to bridge the gap between the older generation, yourself, and the upcoming generation. In the sense that, this is what I mean. For instance, as a young person, you want to do something great, you want to do something big. There is every tendency as a young person, definitely, to want to go astray. But you need to find that way to find your way back. How? By bridging that gap between the older generation and the future. So what I will say is this: as a young person, make sure you have people you look up to as mentors that can help you guide your way. Definitely, we can't outrule the fact that people want to go astray. People want to do things that are way absurd. But you just have to find a way to bridge that gap. Have people you are answerable to. So that you can always guide your path and find your way around it.
Because some people also blame it on hardship and feel that, the country is so hard, and many of these young people, they are not ready for 9-to-5 job. Many of them don't consider 9-to-5 jobs.
But the biggest innovators that we have today actually went through the toughest of times to get to where they are today. So I don't see that as an excuse, actually.
Well, I think that's you. Jimmy's looking at the majority of the young people. They have this. I can relate because I've had jobs.
Dr. Champion relates with
many
lot of young
them,
people.
Many of them. In fact, there's a program we're running now for 2 weeks. I didn't just want to say that, but a way to encourage young people. And one of the things we'll be teaching will be AI and coding, and they're not even interested. Someone even asked me for transport to come there. Will you give us transport? Will you give us breakfast? Will you give us lunch? I said, I'm not inviting you for a party. It's a training. Come and learn. And I said, no. So the thing is there. They have this entitlement mentality. They have this get-rich syndrome. I want it now. I want it now. You understand? So how do you have a different mindset. So how do we push your kind of mindset into the majority, help young people know that this way they're going would not end well. You understand? Because that's why they're going to rituals, killing, scamming. We remember the other time, Jimmy, we looked at that young man that went to, I think it was a bank, that climbed the roof.
Yeah, that climbed
in the ceiling.
You're familiar with that story.
You're familiar with that story.
Sure,
He's a young person. You're saying, how did we get here? So what
I feel that, like, this particular scenario you painted is a very typical and very good example here, because every young person has that drive in them to get things done. Now, the question is, where is your drive leading you to? Is it on the positive angle or the negative angle? So for me, I would say that we need to work on the foundation, which is the mind. So every young person has that tenacity, has that drive, has that push to get things done. But from the basis of what kind of mind are you coming from? Do you get? So even as you rightly said, you have programs that you put in place to get to teach these people, and they are not willing or ready to learn. They are not ready to take the sacrifice. What do you think that is the problem? It's the mind. So why not start from the foundation, the basics? Try and drive a working mindset. Try and drive a positive mindset to them first. Before you know, the kind of work you are doing becomes easy for you. Because you've set a very solid foundation for them, then definitely you see them.
I agree with you. I do agree with you. And thank God that Dr. Champion is someone who is always using his platform in order to encourage young people, you know. Again, in all, Nigerians use lazy. Because ever since the late former President Buhari said it some years back, that has been something that a lot of people have always said Nigerian youths are lazy. Now, the laziness might not be in terms of, you know, working and whatever. Lazy in terms of not being interested in politics, not being interested in, you know. But the last election, we saw a lot of young people who wanted to participate, who wanted to be part of it because they felt, you know, well, most young people choose a candidate to trust Peter Obi, let's be honest ourselves, and everybody went to him. You know. But he didn't win the election. We have an election coming in 2027. You know. Are you confident that there will be youthful participation right now in that election? In view of the fact that the current president, well, whether we like it or not, we'll have to give you some kudos in terms of youthful, you know, programs that have come in, the student loan, some other youthful you know, platform that he has created, you know. So when you talk about youth and election in 2027, what do you think? Are you confident that young people will still troop out?
Okay. First, you have two questions. First is Nigerian youth lazy? And then second is youth and election. So first of all, I won't say Nigerian youth are not lazy people. They are hardworking young persons, yes. And I can tell from that, from the young person selling hawking gala on the street to the other person, probably even a conductor, as young as the person is. So definitely Nigerian youths are not lazy. Then on youth and participation in election, I strongly feel that the way Nigerian system is created, it is not created for the young person to strive in politics, unfortunately. Because as, for instance, a political party sets its ticket formed for 100 million naira. You and I know which young person can afford 100 million Nigerian naira to fund for an election. Outside of buying the ticket, you have campaigns to run.
Definitely.
And
that needs money.
And all of those things too. Where do you want to get the money from? Okay, let's say, definitely somebody out there decides to fund all of your bills. Aren't you going to pay the person back?
Definitely.
So that's the question. So I will say that the Nigerian system does not give room for the Nigerian youth to progress in politics. So I think it's...
Is that the reason why they're not interested in voting? Because you can't participate, I cannot afford the ticket, and therefore during election,
they just stay
even though I
home.
can go online and rant and whatever, but election day I'll stay in my house, drink my tea, watch the TV and the rest, you know.
Well, for that, unfortunately again, I would say because it's still about the system. The rigging and all of that.
Okay.
The Nigerian, a young person, you know, an elderly person has some level of patience more, has some level of calmness.
That's true.
Yeah.
But unlike the young person.
We want it sharp.
I said so.
So like, once I see that this election, at the end of the day, it's whoever is going to be there will be there. So why am I stressing myself? So the elderly man who wants to just go, you know, take it easy, be calm and everything. So I still blame it on the system. For me, I still blame it on the system.
So let me put you on the spot now. You are trying to say that the Nigerian youths are not proactive.
Oh, well, that is actually putting me on the spot.
I mean, so how do you want to respond to that?
No, they are proactive set of people.
So but if you have a system stifling your effort to see certain desired results, are you not supposed to look at how to beat that system or think out of the box? Let me take you back to where you started. Think creatively out of the box to make sure that your voices are heard in a system that is not too friendly.
Like the example I gave of
Yeah.
the ticket of 100 million naira.
Yeah.
Yes, let's assume, for instance, myself, I'm a proactive Nigerian youth.
Okay.
I get things done, even without supervision and stuff like that. And then I want to go into politics. I'm proactive, obviously. But I go into the system and I see that these are very huge criteria I have to like go through in order to get a political position. Like having to spend this amount of money, having to do this. Sir, at a point, your drive will have to tell you to calm down. It's a soft pedal. Then you now have to take a back rest and then start outweighing your plans and everything. So, yes, there's the aspect of being proactive. But again, the system is largely rigged against the Nigerian youth.
Well, that's what Emmanuel Epo. The system is rigged against young people. You don't want to agree with him, truly, because you know, the whole talk about constitutional review, amending the constitution, or even getting a totally new constitution, because the fact that young people look to have been marginalized, you know, and because of that, they don't show interest in what's going on. There's a youth conference coming up very soon. I don't know how many people will participate. I mean, quickly, are you in support of that? A youth conference where you have only young people talking about the future of the country and the rest. You know, that's coming up very soon. I think later this year. You know, registration is still on. You know,
it's good. It's good. It's good. For me, it's good because right from going back to where we started from, talking about having an enabling environment, working on the mindset of people. You might not know the little bits of seeds you're sowing in. So it's just happened a conference here. People might come. You might not see a spiral change or spiral uproar immediately, but a seed has been sown.
so you can pick up from there.
Pick up from there and then you keep going.
I like that. I like that. But of course, that's the International Youth Day, which we also congratulations to young people, and hope that for Nigerian youth, you know, there'll be more that they can do to contribute to the country. But let's talk about another young person who got caught in something not desirable, I must say. Comfort Emerson. We talked about her yesterday when that video went viral, the way she behaved in a violent way, fighting members or crew members of the Ibom Air over an issue which had to do with instruction for her to switch off her phone, you know. But as we speak, she has been remanded in Kirikiri prison, you know. And now the whole talk is about, is this not selective justice? Because last week we had a case of King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal Kwanwan, who also was involved in an altercation with the Value Jet cabin crew, and stood in front of the plane and trying to stop the plane from taking off. You know, he has apologized, but there are calls for him to be arrested and all of that. You know, but now this young lady talking about Comfort Emerson, she is in Kirikiri, and of course, you know, the case is still ongoing. The good thing is that Emmanuel is still here with us, and of course, from his own perspective as a young person, I want to pick his brain on this. You know, you saw what Kwanwan did, and we saw what this young lady did. You know, how would you compare both of them? Are they the same crime or the same issue? Do they deserve different punishment, or do you think Kwanwan should also be facing the same thing that she's facing?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. I would say that obviously they are not the same issues, but I don't know the rules that guide addressing issues like this within the aviation sector. Yeah, but for instance, the one that has to do with Kwanwan had to do with, he had a bottle, either to be water or alcohol, and he shouldn't be taken in and all of that. Then he obstructed the plane from moving, and then the pilot had to take a drastic action. Yeah. Now on this other case, allegedly she was in the plane and they were asked to pull off their phones or place it on airplane mode, or as the case may be, but there was a form of altercation between herself and the air hostess that warranted to her being held captive and at the same time called upon, and then all of the drama that happened.
Sure.
Yeah, I would say there are different situations, and handling them will obviously be different. But to say if one is treated fair than the other, I'm not in the right position to give that judgment because I don't have the statement of the law, what it says.
True.
So I don't just quote things based on what I think, but what does the law say about it? But again, for that of comfort, I would love to place more emphasis on that. I'll say that for that of comfort, there was an unfair treatment on both ends, both from the air hostess and from comfort herself. Now, if truly that you were asked to put off your phone for certain aviation rules and you objected to it, definitely she has flouted the rules and she's to pay for it. If she's to be punished or whatever the case may be, fine. Now, on the other end, we were not there in the plane. We wouldn't know the mode of communication between the air hostess and comfort. That would have warranted an altercation. We were not there. There are no footages to prove that.
So we don't know if she was rudely asked to switch her phone.
You get?
You know.
And then the only point of view we have is where there was an altercation outside of the plane or at the verge of getting out of the plane. That is just the narrative that is being driven for us. We don't know what happened inside. Fine, that happened, and then she was out already, and they were trying to pull her out. You could see from a particular end of that video that while she was being pulled out, before her cleavages were revealed, that her clothes were pulled by someone from the inside.
True.
So
I agree with you.
I wouldn't want to pinpoint that it is this person that did this or this person that did that. But you could see, that's why I said that it was unfair on both ends. But either from comfort and at the same time on the air hostess. Even when she steps down, she was still fighting with the operatives. So even...
Could you say that that actually escalated the situation because she felt I've been exposed, I've been humiliated, someone is recording, and you could see all my, cleavages out and stuff like that. And that's why she reacted that way when she was forced out of the plane and she was kicking and hitting everybody. Would you say that as a young person, it happens to you? If you are to relate it as a young person, do you feel violated? Would you feel violated at that moment that you're pulling me out of the plane, somebody, one way or the other, I don't know whether deliberately or not, ripped up my top and exposed my private part, So would that be a reason to provoke you into, getting more violent?
Okay, let me say this, that as every young person, especially in a country like Nigeria, the level of our adrenaline pumps higher than every other person outside of the world because of how our environment is set up. Do you get? So
you guys react,
spontaneous. As it's coming, we're giving it sharp. So I would say that definitely she was malhandled, and at the same time, what was done to her was wrong, and at the same time, probably the way she reacted to was wrong. But there is that spontaneous reaction that we get, and as young people, we almost can't control it. To see a very calm young Nigerian,
it's very hard. It's
and if you see one, make sure you hold that person closely.
Exactly.
So you get. So the environment is somehow an influence on our reaction most times. So almost any young person in that situation will almost want to
react that way, especially because you feel that you've been humiliated and the rest.
And you see, almost everybody there was against her. She didn't have anybody on her
side.
It's a two-way thing.
As we speak, the Association of owners of airlines have actually placed a life ban on her, and I asked the question, why a life ban? That's too hard. She can fly internationally or locally as we speak. And based on how she was stripped naked, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, talking about Festus Keyamo, released a statement which said they must sanction whoever, ripped her shirt, apart, exposing her, bosom, her cleavages, so to speak. That is from the operators AON, talking about Airline Owners Association. They released a statement. I don't know how harsh that is. You also find Festus Keyamo also releasing a statement. In that statement, he mentioned that they must find whoever was responsible for raping that her exposing her cleavages will be punished. Are you satisfied with that? Let me just ask that. Are you satisfied with such from the Minister of Aviation? And then a life ban. That's too harsh.
Well, for what the Minister of Aviation has done is a step to justice. Another thing in Nigeria is it being followed up and stuff like that.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and then there is the aspect of a life ban. I don't think that should warrant a life ban. Even the person that obstructed the plane.
They didn't get a life ban.
So are we being fair to ourselves?
Yeah.
But let's leave it at that.
Okay. Let's leave it really at that. But investigation continues, and of course, during our newspaper review segment, you'll be able to call in and let us know your opinion about that particular case, which is still ongoing. Talking about Comfort Emerson and what happened on Sunday. Yeah, life ban. She can fly locally or internationally, and of course, the Minister of Aviation asking or instructing the Ibom Air hierarchy to actually unearth the lady who ripped her shirt apart and exposed her cleavages, and that she should be sanctioned. Well, thank you very much, Emmanuel Echo, for joining us this morning. It's been a very interesting take concerning the International Youth Day, and of course, the whole issue about Nigerians saying that there seems to be a kind of selective justice when it comes to Comfort Emerson, comparing it to Kwamwan's own incidents, with a feeling that is it still the Nigeria of who know who? Laws are there, but some people are above the law than others.